First contact under fire. The crystalline spires of Sci-Fi Prime sparkled under their binary suns, their azure depths reflecting the perpetual ocean that covered 95% of the planet's surface. Inside the Global Defense Center, First Speaker Kilara's translucent form rippled with distress as she studied the holographic displays. 12 warships had just emerged from hyperspace at the edge of their system, their hulls bearing the infamous markings of the Crimson Tide pirates. "They're not responding to hails," reported Defense Coordinator Miran, his aqueous form displaying patches of anxiety induced by luminescence. "Long-range scans confirm heavily armed vessels. Our defensive shields won't hold against that kind of firepower." The Silurians were renowned across the galaxy for their medical technology and scientific achievements. Their crystalline aquatic biology allowed them to synthesize complex organic compounds within their very bodies, making them unparalleled healers. But that same biology made them physically fragile. Their bodies could literally shatter under sufficient stress. "The Galactic Council?" Kilara asked, already knowing the answer. "Too far to respond in time. The nearest patrol is 3 days away." Miran's voice carried the harmonics of defeat. "The tide will be here in 6 hours." Kilara moved to the central command pool, her crystalline form catching and refracting the emergency lights. The Silurian homeworld housed 8 billion souls, most of them civilians. The pirates wouldn't just steal their medical technology. They would harvest the Silurians themselves, seeing their unique biology as a resource to be exploited. "There might be one option," said Miran hesitantly, "but you won't like it." "Speak." "The humans have a battle fleet conducting exercises just 2 systems away. Their ships are faster than anything in known space. They could reach us in time." The command center fell silent. Everyone knew about humans, the Deathworlders who had emerged from their gravity well of a planet just 15 years ago. Their dense musculature, reinforced skeletal structure, and aggressive immune systems made them nearly indestructible by Silurian standards. A human could accidentally kill a Silurian with a handshake. "The humans have never attacked a peaceful species," Miran continued. "They've even fought pirates before, though most races are too afraid to request their help." Kilara felt the weight of 8 billion lives in her decision. The humans were dangerous, yes, but they were dangerous like a storm was dangerous, a force of nature that could either destroy or protect, depending on how it was directed. "Open a channel," she ordered. "All frequencies." The message was simple. "This is First Speaker Kilara of Sci-Fi Prime to any human vessels within range. Our world faces imminent attack from the Crimson Tide pirates. We are a peaceful species with minimal defenses. We request immediate assistance. Please, help us." The response came faster than anyone expected. A deep voice, impossibly heavy by Silurian standards, filled the command center. "First Speaker Kilara, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Fleet vessel Thunderchild. We have received your distress call and are altering course to your position. Be advised we are bringing 4 battleships. Expected arrival 5 hours, 30 minutes. Hold position. Help is coming." Relief flooded through Kilara's crystalline form, followed immediately by a new worry. They had just invited Deathworlders into their home system. The humans would arrive just 30 minutes before the pirates, assuming they could actually achieve that impossible speed. First Speaker, Miran's voice carried a note of awe. "Human ships shouldn't be able to move that fast. The energy requirements alone." "They're Deathworlders," Kilara replied. "Everything about them defies conventional logic." She turned to her staff. "Begin evacuating civilians to the deep-sea shelters, and prepare a briefing on Silurian biology for our guests. If they're going to save us, they need to know how not to accidentally destroy us in the process." As the command center erupted into activity, Kilara found herself wondering which was more dangerous, the pirates who were coming to deliberately harm them, or the humans who might accidentally shatter them while trying to help. Either way, Sci-Fi Prime was about to witness something unprecedented. Deathworlders and pirates, finally meeting in battle. The next 5 hours would change the galaxy forever. Breaking the siege, Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Thunderchild, her dark eyes fixed on the tactical display. The massive battleship's engines were pushing far beyond their rated capacity, the ship's reinforced hull groaning under forces that would tear most vessels apart. 3 other ships of Battle Group 7 maintained perfect formation despite the crushing acceleration. The Maelstrom, the Hyperion, and the Damascus. Engineering reports the probability of drive core containment failure is approaching 15%, reported Lieutenant Commander Jackson, his fingers dancing over hardened control surfaces designed to withstand superhuman strength. Note their concerns in the log, Chen replied calmly, and push it harder. We need every second we can get. The bridge crew understood the stakes. They had all seen the sensor data on the Sileran species, a civilization of scientists and healers whose bodies were literally crystalline in structure. The Crimson Tide wouldn't just rob them. They would harvest them for their biological properties. Tactical analysis of pirate fleet completing, announced Commander Rivera, her muscular frame tensed at the weapons station. 12 vessels, mainly converted merchant ships with military-grade weapons. Their shields are designed to withstand conventional attacks, but, she smiled grimly, they've never faced human-designed weaponry. Chen nodded. Most species built their defenses assuming certain physical limitations that humans, with their Deathworld biology and corresponding technology, simply didn't share. What's the status of the new battle plan? Operation Gentle Hand is ready, Rivera confirmed. All crew members have been briefed on Sileran biological vulnerabilities. We'll be using minimum footprint boarding tactics and low-yield precision weapons only. No risk of planetary damage. The humans had learned hard lessons about their own strength when they first joined the galactic community. Now that same careful control they'd developed for peaceful contact would be turned to warfare. They would protect the Silerans without accidentally destroying them in the process. New contact. Jackson's voice cut through the bridge. The pirates are accelerating. They must have detected our approach. Chen's expression hardened. They're trying to reach the planet before we do. Time to arrival. They'll reach weapons range of Sileris Prime in 28 minutes. We'll arrive in 32. Unacceptable. Chen opened a channel to engineering. Chief Torres, I need more speed. Captain, the drives are already redlining. We're hitting 47% chance of containment failure. Can you give me 5 more minutes of acceleration if you don't have to worry about stopping? There was a pause. Yes, but... Oh, I see. Crazy plan incoming. The craziest. Prepare for emergency deceleration using planetary atmosphere. All hands, brace for atmospheric entry from FTL. The bridge crew's eyes widened, but no one protested. This was why humans were different. Their bodies could survive maneuvers that would kill most species instantly. Their ships were built to match. Message from First Speaker Kilara, Jackson reported. They're tracking both fleets, and they're concerned about our approach vector. Tell them to trust us, Chen replied, checking her crash harness, and suggest they might want to reinforce their orbital structures. This is going to get a bit rough. The Thunderchild and her sister ships accelerated even harder, their massive engines glowing with barely contained power. They would arrive in the Sileran system not like proper starships making a calculated approach, but like meteors, monsters from space coming to meet monsters from the depths of space. The pirates were about to learn why challenging humans to a game of chicken was a terminal mistake. Deathworlders didn't just have stronger bodies, they had the determination to use that strength in ways that other species would consider impossible. Warriors and healers. The Sileran Global Defense Center shook as the first shots were fired in orbit. Dr. Maya Patel, Chief Medical Officer of the Thunderchild, moved with exaggerated care through the crystalline corridors. Every step was measured. One wrong move could crack the floor beneath her feet. Your control is remarkable, said Senior Healer Varan, his translucent form rippling with bands of curious bioluminescence. We had feared that we be bulls in a crystal shop. Maya smiled behind her environment suit's faceplate. We've had 15 years to learn gentleness, healer. Though I admit, this is the first time we've had to practice it during combat. Another explosion rattled the building. Above them, the human fleet was executing their insane deceleration maneuver, using Sci-Fi Prime's upper atmosphere to bleed off speed. The sonic booms alone would have shattered every window on the planet if the Sci-Fi hadn't heeded Captain Chen's warning to activate their structural integrity fields. The pirates are targeting civilian sectors, reported a young Sci-Fi aide, their crystalline form flickering with distress patterns. We have multiple casualties incoming. Maya's trained eye noted how the Sci-Fi medical teams moved with liquid grace, their bodies literally flowing around obstacles. Their organic chemistry was extraordinary, able to synthesize complex medical compounds within their own bodies. But those same bodies were fragile, susceptible to shock and vibration. "Let us show you what humans and Sci-Fi can do together," Maya said, unfolding a specially designed medical kit. "Your bodies can create healing compounds we can only dream of. We'll provide the physical stability and protection you need to work safely in a combat zone." The first casualties arrived. Sci-Fi with stress fractures from the battle's vibrations, others with more serious injuries from damaged buildings. Maya directed her human medical team with hand signals, each movement precise and controlled. They became living barriers, their dense bodies and reinforced environment suits creating safe zones where Sci-Fi healers could work without fear of further damage. Above them, the space battle entered a new phase. The Thunderchild's crew had trained extensively for this mission, learning to fire weapons and navigate with surgical precision. They couldn't risk stray shots or debris hitting the planet. Not with a civilization as physically vulnerable as the Silurians. "Amazing," Varan observed as he watched Maya stabilize a complex crystalline fracture. "Your hands, they're so strong, yet you move with such delicacy." "Humans are full of contradictions," Maya replied, carefully applying a resonance-dampening field to protect the injured Sci-Fi. "We can crush steel with these hands, but we can also perform microsurgery. Strength without control is just destruction." The medical bay's crystal walls hummed with weapon impacts from orbit. Maya's comm unit crackled with updates from the battle. The human fleet was systematically dismantling the pirate ships, careful to direct debris away from the planet. Captain Chen was demonstrating that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their physical power. It was their ability to control that power with precision. A sudden impact shook the building harder than before. Maya instinctively braced herself, becoming a living shield for the Sci-Fi medical team. As the vibrations faded, she saw something remarkable. The Sci-Fi healers were no longer showing fear patterns when they looked at the humans. Instead, their crystalline bodies rippled with colors that her suit's xenobiology database identified as trust and gratitude. "We had heard stories," Varan said softly, his voice carrying harmonics of wonder, "about how humans could break anything they touched. No one told us you could also be the strongest protectors in the galaxy." Maya was about to respond when her comm unit burst to life with Captain Chen's voice. "All surface teams, be advised. Pirates have launched boarding pods. Prepare for ground combat. Remember your training. Controlled strength only. We're here to save this world, not accidentally break it." The human medical team exchanged glances. They had trained for this too. How to fight at full strength while surrounded by crystalline beings who could shatter from the shockwaves alone. It would be like having a boxing match in a glass art gallery. "Don't worry," Maya assured the Sci-Fi healers as she checked her defensive equipment. "We've got a saying on Earth. The most dangerous fighter is the one who knows exactly how hard to hit." The pirate's last stand. Marine Sergeant Elena Rodriguez crouched behind a crystalline support pillar, her movement so careful it barely created a ripple in the nearby decorative pools. Through her helmet's heads-up display, she watched as pirate boarding pods smashed through the upper atmosphere, their hulls glowing red with friction. All teams maintain discipline. She subvocalized through the tactical net. Remember your environmental training. These halls are literally crystal. One misplaced step could bring down entire sections. The pirates had clearly expected to find only the fragile Silurians defending their medical research centers. Instead, they were about to face humanity's finest special forces troops, trained specifically for combat in delicate environments. Each Marine wore a powered armor suit designed to allow maximum control over their Deathworlder strength. Contact, reported Corporal Chung from his observation post. First wave is using standard breaching charges. They don't know about the structural reinforcement fields the Silurians activated. Elena smiled grimly. The pirates were about to learn several painful lessons about underestimating both their opponents. Above, the space battle continued as the Thunderchild and her sister ships methodically disabled the pirate fleet, careful to direct debris away from the planet. The first explosion echoed through the crystalline halls as pirates breached the upper levels. Elena's HUD highlighted their heat signatures, crude environment suits, heavy weapons, and no concern for their surroundings. They were used to fighting in fragile environments by simply not caring about damage. All teams, execute Operation Glasswalker, Elena commanded. Minimum force, maximum precision. Show them what Marines can do. Her squad moved like ghosts through the crystal corridors, their powered armor compensating for every motion. Years of training in how to control their natural strength had prepared them for this moment. The pirates, expecting to find cowering scientists, instead found themselves facing an enemy that seemed to materialize from the shadows. The first pirate squad didn't even have time to fire their weapons. Elena's team descended on them with precisely calculated force, each strike exactly strong enough to disable but not so strong as to send damaging shockwaves through the crystal structure. Their powered armor allowed them to pull punches that would still knock out a normal human. "This is impossible," one pirate gasped as his comrades fell. "No one can fight at full strength in here without." Elena knocked him unconscious with a textbook-perfect blow. "We're not fighting at full strength," she muttered. "That's the whole point." Through her tactical feed, she watched as similar scenes played out across the facility. The pirates had numbers and heavy weapons, but those advantages became liabilities in an environment where every missed shot could bring down the ceiling. The Marines, by contrast, had turned their need for control into a tactical advantage. "Sergeant," Chang's voice crackled over the comm. Pirate leader spotted entering the medical research wing. He's carrying some kind of resonance weapon." Elena's blood ran cold. A resonance weapon in this environment wouldn't just kill Silurians, it would shatter entire buildings. Teams 2 and 3, continue securing the perimeter. Team 1, with me. We move fast but precise, like practicing with Grandma's china. People. They found the pirate leader preparing to breach the main medical vault. The device in his hands hummed with malevolent energy, designed to shatter crystalline structures at their molecular level. Behind those doors, thousands of Silurian medical researchers had taken shelter. "Last chance," Elena called out, her voice carrying through the crystal halls. "Surrender and live." The pirate leader turned, his scared face visible through his helmet. "You humans," he snarled, "always interfering, always playing heroes. This facility is worth a fortune on the black market. The Silurians themselves are worth even more. You think your fancy armor and careful steps can stop me from taking what I want?" "No," Elena replied calmly. "I think my fancy armor and careful steps will let me stop you without bringing this whole building down on our heads. That's what you don't understand about humans. We're not just strong." She took a measured step forward. "We're precise." The pirate leader raised his resonance weapon. Elena moved. A new understanding. What happened next would be discussed in military academies, both human and alien, for years to come. Elena's powered armor recorded every millisecond as she crossed the space between herself and the pirate leader. Each step precisely calculated, each movement exactly controlled. the resonance weapon discharge, its deadly frequencies meeting the specialized damping field built into her armor. She struck with exactly enough force to disable without killing. The impact transferred through her suit's compression system to prevent shockwaves from traveling through the crystal floor. The entire fight took less than 3 seconds. The pirate leader lay unconscious, his weapon disabled, and not a single crystal in the structure had cracked. Hours later, Captain Sarah Chen stood in the Sileran Council chamber, her environment suit pristine despite the battle. Through the crystalline walls, she could see the debris of pirate ships being carefully collected by human vessels, ensuring no fragments would endanger the planet below. First Speaker Kilura's crystalline form rippled with colors of amazement and gratitude. "You've changed everything we thought we knew about humans," she said, her harmonics carrying through the chamber. "We called you Deathworlders. We feared your strength. We never imagined that strength could protect as well as destroy." Chen smiled. "Humanity learned that lesson the hard way. When we first joined the galactic community, we broke things by accident. We scared people without meaning to. So we learned control." Dr. Maya Patel stepped forward, her medical data ready. "The collaboration between human and Sileran medical teams during the crisis has opened up extraordinary possibilities," she reported. "Your natural ability to synthesize healing compounds, combined with our ability to operate safely in crisis conditions, we could revolutionize emergency medicine across the galaxy." Sergeant Rodriguez, now out of her powered armor, added her own report. "The Marines' experience protecting the research facilities has given us new insights into precision combat techniques. With your permission, First Speaker, we'd like to establish a joint training program, not to teach Silerans to fight, but to teach other species how to protect them." The chamber's crystalline walls hummed with the harmonic equivalent of thoughtful silence. Finally, Kilura spoke. "When we sent out our distress call, we hoped for protection. Instead, we found partners. The galaxy sees humans as creatures to be feared, too strong, too aggressive, too dangerous to interact with safely. Today you proved them wrong." "Not wrong," Chen corrected gently. "Just incomplete. Humans are dangerous. We're strong enough to break almost anything we touch. But that same strength means we can choose to be gentle. A surgeon needs steady hands exactly because they're working with sharp instruments." As if to demonstrate, she carefully picked up a delicate crystal flower from a nearby display. Her movements were so precise that not a single facet scratched, not a single edge chipped. She held it up to the light, letting its natural beauty shine through. "This is what humanity can be," she said. "Not just protectors who fight off pirates, but friends who can be trusted to handle even the most delicate things with care." The news spread quickly through the galaxy. The Crimson Tide pirates, one of the most feared raiding fleets in known space, had been completely defeated. More importantly, they had been defeated by humans who had protected a crystalline civilization without causing a single casualty to their fragile allies. Other species began to look at humans differently. The term Deathworlder started to change its meaning. It no longer just meant someone strong enough to survive on a hostile world. It meant someone strong enough to protect others, controlled enough to handle delicate situations, and wise enough to know the difference. The Sileran Human Medical Exchange Program became a model for interspecies cooperation. The sight of massive human doctors moving with balletic grace through crystal hospitals, working alongside flowing Sileran healers, became a symbol of what was possible when strength was guided by wisdom. Captain Chen's final report to Earth Command was simple. "The galaxy feared us because we were strong. Today we showed them why they should trust us, not despite our strength, but because of how we choose to use it." As the Thunderchild prepared to depart Sileris Prime, First Speaker Kilura presented the human crew with a gift, a crystalline sculpture depicting a human hand gently cradling a Sileran healing pool. The inscription, written in both human and Sileran scripts, read, "To those who prove that the strongest hands can also be the gentlest." The galaxy would never be quite the same again. The Deathworlders had shown that they could be more than just warriors. They could be guardians, healers, and friends. And that, perhaps, was the greatest victory of all.